Good morning, everybody from around the world. This is your General Greene. I come to you in the light of Jesus Christ on this happy, beautiful Sabbath. And I have breaking news. But first off, let me know you hear me. I've made some adjustments. We were having some issue with the audio yesterday. Make sure it's loud and clear, then crush those algorithms. They don't want this information out to the American and world public because this is huge. No one else is mentioning this. Everyone's focused on something else. I always tell you, when you're looking over here, they're doing something over here. This is actually fantastic, amazing, predictable news. Thank you, Red. Let me know you can hear me clearly. We were having audio issues yesterday, but this is massive. Like and share. Leave a comment. Yes, Motel Dublin. Jesus does love you. Remember that. Jesus Christ is King. Let me know you can hear me because this is the biggest news story not being reported. Again, the fake, lying, scumbag, fake news, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, as Howard Stern used to call it, which I actually thought was a pretty good name for it, although I'm not a fan of Howard Stern at all, proves my point that, again, the biggest story, Trump's biggest and greatest victory. What's coming next is the perfect storm of not just up only, crypto up only, the golden age unlock, stable coins now going mainstream, trillions of dollars pouring into our coins, Ethereum soon to be at new all-time highs, crushing 4,200, everything soaring, RSR to the freaking moon, 1,000 freaking X, Island Project ringing the bell, Founders Round soon to be officially closed, last chance to get in, Bitcoin soon to soar to 250K, then 3 million plus, up only. All because of the perfect storm that we have predicted, up only. Again, hyperinflation will continue. More debt will be printed. 4 trillion added to the existing debt, sending us to 41 trillion. Housing prices up only, especially in the best locations. Food prices up only. Gold prices, silver prices up only. Catching a trend, real assets keep soaring as the US dollar declines and the middle class is eradicated. They don't want you to own anything tangible or real. They want to box you out. Wall Street's attempting to box your butt out of the best investments in the world as they reset the system into an AI robotic age, which I believe has a lot of pros, amazing things it's going to do for our society, your businesses, opportunities, if you're on the right side of history. So understand this. In Luddite fashion, there's always going to be people opposed to the change. Some of these changes I don't think is good, right? I'm not for robots replacing all human labor and all human jobs. I'm not for microchips in your forehead, okay? I'm not for the biologicals. I'm for none of that. But I also see the other side of the story, how this is empowering freedom and liberty and decentralization. It's why we built the Island Project and the Digital Noah's Ark. Because again, Christians and God faith first individuals of like minds are now congregating together in a revolutionary 1776 moment, not too dissimilar to the original 1776. Understand this. Freedom, sovereignty, private ecosystems, no bank debt, cash flows, large capital gains, freedom and liberty to go and travel and be anywhere in the world and live your investment. That's freaking incredible. Providing access to the investments BlackRock doesn't want you to have access to. Now, for those of you who don't know, Trump authorized trillions of dollars worth of your retirement accounts through your employers now to invest in the Digital Noah's Ark, islandproject.com, real estate, private equity, and also our crypto launch. This is all going mainstream. So the Founders Round, we've given to God. I told you God's going to close the door. I've authorized my dad when he hears from God. When God shuts it, let me know. I know it's soon because God has already told me it's soon. I don't think by Monday, if you're not already in, you'll never get in. That's what my gut tells me. I'm just leaving it to God. But if you're not already in, if you've spoken with my Father, you've got your money over at Preferred Trust, you haven't executed yet. If my dad has already authorized your entrance with your units and you haven't executed, last chance to onboard. I do want to do a quick shout out, then I'm going to get to the news. You know who you are. Frank, crushing above and beyond the 1,000x $1 million tier with Island Project. Congratulations, sir. You are amazing. We love you. Unlimited coconut cake. Frank, We love you, man. We love you. Limited coconut cake. That's an inside joke. Well, that's actually like a true thing, but it's just like kind of inside joke. Also, we just got a new app, a commitment for funding from the Brandon and Kristen Newman Joint Revocable Trust Fund. Fund immediately. I can't guarantee your entrance unless those funds are pending. Talk to my dad at 808-442-2934. That's 808-442-2934. Ballers, you know who you are. DCAing, dollar cost averaging, the Sterling, Mains, and Sons group. You know who you are. One of my original onboards. DCAing aggressively. Funds pending in portal at islandproject.com. J Remedies, you know who you are. Pending. Another 43K. DCAing, and so many more. I don't have time. Kimberly, you know who you are. Kimberly A. out of beautiful North Carolina. And by the way, we got some exciting developments. We have a massive new spec resort property that I'll be alerting all of our members to very, very soon. We're expanding across all the Hawaiian Islands. We have beautiful 6 amazing no bank debt properties. More coming, the 13 official colonies. I have a massive announcement. We're preparing for tokenization as we move through the end of the year, as we break records, as there's now regulatory, legal, and presidential executive powerful action coming in to pump our bags. Because again, we've been on the right side of history. Think about this for a minute. There's so much negativity out there. People are just focused on the negative. Again, just like in Luddite fashion. Right? They're just focusing on what's happening and they're not taking any control or their own power, their own personal power to be successful. Look, this is the most obvious thing in world history. Bitcoin is trading at 2.39 trillion. Ethereum is soon to be at 500 billion. Litecoin's going to 1 trillion. Do you understand that? It's probably like one of my top picks right now. But here's what you need to understand. The perfect storm of Donald Trump's promised, and he will deliver. Every promise, even the things I disagree with, he's delivered. You know that one topic I don't like, but he promised it, and he delivered it. He's promised the golden age. He's delivering it. Cynthia Loomis even said yesterday, delivered. Golden age unlocked. He's promised peace in Ukraine, delivering. Now, combine this with also aggressive hyperinflationary interest rate cuts, which is going to make and bring even more cheap liquidity and credit to an infinite burr money printer from the central bank and the Federal Reserve, guarantees up only. You understand that, right? Trillions of dollars of stable coins will be buying all of the debt printed into infinity. All of this interest rate cuts creates liquidity. It's going to push housing prices higher in the best locations, gold and silver. It's going to put all these real world assets much higher. Now, by the way, this is just prudent. I've been telling you to start taking profits. You want to take profits, and here's my honest to gosh, heartfelt advice. Don't wait for perfect timing, right? Some of you are sitting there, you're waiting to edge out that last percentage point. You're already up 5x. You're already up 2x. You're already up 50% or 10x or 1,000x, and you're waiting. Right? You're waiting to round trip. Keep in mind that crypto is very volatile and cyclical. We're still in the early ages of this. And over the next 10 years, there's going to be violent moves up and down and tons of volatility, unpredictable things, geopolitical events. The list goes on, things we can't predict. A giant reset of the system, massive massacring of the middle class. There's going to be problems and disruptions along the way. So my advice, see my terms and disclaimers, I have to say not financial advice, but of course I've made you rich. Told you that story about that other gentleman that's made over $1 million with me over the last few years. He never would have done that with a financial advisor. He's only done it with the general here at Island Project and at my schools. Don't wait for perfect timing. Start executing now. Just like you dollar cost average into positions, dollar cost average out of the positions that you want to take profits in. Then secure those profits in a no bank debt, no downside real estate asset that's also being tokenized that you can use as your lifestyle investment. Call or text my dad at 808-442-2934. Fund immediately now today, because again, the door's closing. Again, I'm just I'm guessing, but yeah, I don't think by Monday, I think it's all over. I think it's over. The bell's being ringed, and then it's upward, basically up only from there. Giant cherry, giant chocolate fudge sundae for all my members. Beautiful, amazing. Congratulations. We've just gotten started. Again, this is just the beginning of a multi-trillion-dollar run in the cryptocurrency, tokenized real-world asset real estate space. This is just the beginning. This is the opening match of the story. This is round one. Understand this. If you've missed Bitcoin, you will get the price you deserve. Whether or not you bought it under 1,000 as I recommended, whether or not you bought it under 3,500 as I recommended, whether or not you bought it at 16,000 as I recommended, 50,000 as I recommended, or you're buying it now at 116,000 as I'm recommending, you will get the price you deserve. Harvard, right? The Harvard University said Bitcoin was likely to go to zero 10 years ago instead of 100K. They told you to avoid it, right? The elite university, Harvard, the smartest dorks in the world that know not what they talk about. You know, all the professors that don't even have a net worth, right? They're just constantly in their textbooks telling you how to make money, but they're all broke, right? All of them, all broke, said Bitcoin would go to zero 10 years ago. Well, you know what just happened this week? They started buying millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin above 100K. Not only have they been wrong, they're capitulating into our bags. These idiots, Harvard, is capitulating into our crypto bags. Again, I've told you my advice is the smartest advice in the room, period, bar none. So take my advice, listen to my father, call him and fund. Also had a wonderful conversation with Michelle yesterday. You know who you are. She's coming in with an additional 200K. She's already been one of my early onboards. She's a very successful lady, beautiful lady, spends a lot of time out here in Maui with her girlfriends in Oahu. I just wanted to shout you out. She's been praying for my daughter. And, there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes with, our conversations and our really elite network of members that you don't see publicly. Again, I can't say everything publicly. I mean, one of the advantages of Island Project is being connected to our inside team, to our network for all the opportunities now and in the future. Future opportunities that reward and benefit our members. Access to information you'll never receive. By the time it's coming out to the public, you're hearing it late. Access to my father, private dinner meetings, parties. This is all a part of islandproject.com. Things we're going to be doing in the future now that we're ringing the bell. So congratulations, living your investment, totally free, no bank debt, all this enjoyment, all the capital gains, up only, future income distributions, tokenization, the list goes on and on. It's never going to be this special ever again. What we're doing in the future is going to be phenomenal. This is when the real 1000X occurs, right? When you go from 0 to 1, as Peter Thiel wrote in his very famous book, that, by the way, when I read it about 15, 20 years ago, I think when it was published, I don't remember the exact year, immediately 10x'd my income, then 10x'd again to 1000x. Like, again, guys, you've got to be early. By the time it becomes obvious, you're late and you're still broke. Many of you think you have time and you don't. You're waiting to retire, but really you're waiting to die. You're looking at your stocks on a computer screen and you're not getting a suntan. You're not walking the beach. You're not surfing. You're waiting to get old and decrepit. You're waiting for your terminal cancer diagnosis or sudden heart attack or stroke. My question to you is, what are you freaking waiting for? Go big. Go 1000 freaking X, baby. Let your investments perform for you. Enjoy your investments. Remove your money out of the stock market. Sell your BlackRock shares. That company hates your guts. Take your money out of the bank. Take it out of worthless trash cash being demonetized by the central bank. Put it to a real world asset that's going to do something. Make you money. As you've heard my great Texas investors, of which they're our largest state, hoorah. And by the way, I support the independence of Texas. What a great country on its own gold standard. Could just be its own sovereign nation state. In my opinion, know all this. You heard that wonderful testimonial from a great man who's like, hey, everything Christopher and his dad promised, Not just did they deliver it, they've over-delivered it. He's showing you the side of the project. He's swimming with the sea turtles. He's enjoying time with his wife. And one thing I'm proud of is we've enabled not just millionaires or accredited investors, we've enabled you, the little guy, to get in. Originally, our original funding amount was $30K. That's nothing. You can't even buy a car with $30K. You buy a car, it's worthless right after you buy it, right after you take it off the lot. Imagine playing Monopoly your entire life and never buying an income-producing property. It's like you're playing Monopoly, collecting 200, and what are you doing with it? Giving it back to BlackRock, the same company that hates you. Never buying an asset, never buying a home, never having passive income, never enjoying your life. It's just simply trying to avoid that circle of life. And that's how most people live. They're not even thinking about it. You've landed on Park Place, for the love of God, here at islandproject.com, and you're not gonna buy Park Place? This is literally the new Manhattan, for crying out loud. Think about it. This is your time to act and also fight back against the deep state and the system. Fight for Christians. Fight for liberty. Fight for freedom. Fight the beast. This is the time to organize, to be optimistic, to join the lightsaber warriors, and do so much more with our faith and with our energy and for our passion, which again, that's something you can't fake. Sometimes people think I'm a little wild and Christopher's crazy, man, but he knows what he's talking about, man, because it's real. It is real. Do you know what it's like to live with that fervor and passion? All my members know because they have it. That's why we're together. They said in 2020, we're all in this together. Yeah, not really. But with the Island Project, we truly are all in it together. Common purpose, ethos, vision, safety, protection, no downside, no bank debt, only up, only $150 million property portfolio within the next 5 to 10 years. Simply by doing nothing. That's if we add no leverage. That's if there's no tokenization. That's if we never do any kind of development again. We never spec anything. We just sit and do nothing. $150 million. Your shares more than tripling from its original value. See my terms and not financial advice. But you understand? You learn this fundamental principle playing the game of Monopoly, yet you're not playing Monopoly in your own life. You landed on the golden ticket. You're sitting on the golden egg, for crying out loud. It only comes around once. The woman you want to marry, you might only see her or get one shot to ask her out, to get her phone number. One shot. There's no repeat. Stop waiting for perfect timing. Stop thinking you're going to get another opportunity. There is no guarantee you'll ever see an opportunity like this again. Myself included, and everybody that's been a part of my channel, and the host of courses, BitcoinRich.com, the largest crypto education platform in the world, and the Island Project Club, we all say the same thing, myself included. We wish we bought even more Bitcoin. I mean, think about it. Guys, we're buying as much as we can, under 1,000, as much as we can, under 3,500 and 16K. I mean, it was at 3,500 in 2020. And now look at it, up only. So my message today is not only to get activated, immediately fund. You're not going to be able to get in. Immediately fund. It is a privilege to get into the founders round. It's a privilege that my dad and myself have authorized you to get in. Bottom line. So get in. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Regulate. Pull the freaking trigger in your own life. Live with some freaking passion. Grow some freaking diamond nuts. Throw some chairs in the pool. Live your investment with us. Up only. To God be the glory. But what a lot of you are missing, and let's go back to the geopolitics, is Trump. I'm telling you, just as I predicted, I'll explain what's going to happen, and my story has not changed. My prediction has not changed. I predicted the invasion of Ukraine. I told you it was a matter of time. I told you that Vladimir Putin would annex the region, take over Sevastopol, control the Navy, grab key points. He's done that. That territory would be allowed to be kept. Donald Trump, through the art of the peace deal, would accept those territorial gains as a result of declaring world peace. then interest rates would be cut. There'd be more stability, at least temporarily, in that part of the world. Markets will soar. Trillions and more debt will be printed because any president's going to print trillions and more debt. That's just how it works, unless you end the central bank. They will announce a new reset and a new system. It's called stable coins. It's really just a new invention of CBDCs. They're unlimited. They're printed to infinity. They're centralized and controlled by the banks and also the U.S. government. Back to 1-to-1 to buy out all the existing dollar-denominated debt. That'll flood the market into real assets like real estate, high-end properties, beach, oceanfront, gold, silver, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Bitminer and Tom Lee's company, for example, is now buying as a part of their scheduled buys of Ethereum. This is nuts. Hundreds of millions of dollars a day during some days of Ethereum, one of the most undervalued assets. I told you about Litecoin too. That thing's going to soar. It's only trading under 10 billion. Trading at 1 trillion is not far-fetched. Again, LTC deserves to be right under Ethereum, honestly. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, it should be right up there. Solana. There's other select opportunities. Again, reserve rights, which is a stable coin technology, married with RSR, the speculative token asset, which I've recommended, is going to soar because it's built on the new reserve. It's built on top of the Genius Act. You're going to hear Peter Thiel, mark my words, Peter Thiel, one of the most famous people in the world, funded the president, funds Elon Musk, PayPal Mafia, owns Palantir, blah, 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 blah. You will hear him speak about the good graces, mark my words, about RSR in the coming days. There's a new interview about to be released. And if you wait to buy RSR, by the time the interview is released, you're going to be buying a lot higher. You will get the price you freaking deserve. And that's just how it works. So this is a massive opportunity. We all are about to crush the 4 trillion marker. So that is huge news because we're sitting at about 3.94 trillion. There's basically no greed in the market. Fear and greed's at 58. It's not at 90. It's not at 100. Altcoin season measured right now on its index is 41 out of 100. Nothing. It hasn't even begun. So few of you don't even know the secret. You have no idea what's coming. You really don't. You have no idea how big this is. You have no idea. You're going to miss the entire new internet. You're going to miss all of Google up only, all of Amazon, Tesla. It's a one giant repeat of you missing it because you failed to take action. You take no risk in your life. You wait for the authorities that lock your butts in your houses before you take action. You didn't buy Bitcoin. You're not buying this. You're not getting in. My advice is proven to be number one in the world for a reason. The $33.5 million soon-to-be completed door being shut by God is successful for a reason. Because it's bigger than myself, and our advice has paid handsomely. Do you know how many tens, hundreds of millions of dollars my members are already in profit? The billions of dollars I have influenced over the last 15 years. How many people are undeniably, unequivocally, unparalleledly rich now as a result of taking my advice? Mom and pops, teachers, firefighters, single moms. They bought my course, bought Bitcoin. They're freaking diamond balls rich. We've changed your life for a reason. All glory to God. And the cynics and the haters and the sideliners, I love you. Join us. But you've been wrong and you're still broke for a reason. You'll never get rich as a spectator. You only get rich when you put your butt in the arena. The beauty of islandproject.com, of course, is there's no hard lifting for you. Our members, we're the ones fighting Goliath. My dad and myself, our balls are on the line and the chopping block on a daily basis. We have taken massive risks to launch something they don't want out there. BlackRock hates us. Wall Street despises what we're doing. Despises that us peons, us little peasants in their eyes, now own beachfront, baby, that we own across all the islands. It pisses them off that we're Christians fighting the devil on your behalf, that we are the gladiators. That's what we stand for. that we are the non-compliers, that we are against the lockdowns, that we are the freedom fighters, that we are the Paul Reveres, that my father is George freaking Washington in the new embodiment. That pisses off the deep state. We're winning. We are winning because God is all powerful. God is all infinite, and it is up only to the King. I love you all, but many of you are missing, and you will officially miss the biggest opportunity of your life as the door shuts in your face, hard hitting, and in your face. You will miss it unless you act today. Get in. Crypto up only explosion higher. Ethereum at 4,200 on its way to new all-time highs, will eclipse 5K imminently. XRP pumping. Solana 16% gains for the week. The Dogecoin, a dog, is worth more than your retirement and bank accounts, up 27% for the week. Chainlink up 36% for the week. And the list goes on and on and on and on. For those of you that want more information on our token event, that will be released later as we move forward. A non-dilutable founders round that only creates more opportunity, more wealth, and more equity for our investors. All designed years ago. And now with the great clarification of the United States government, Donald Trump, our president, and now the legal framework around Genius Coins and the launch of new deployment of tokens. For example, you've probably read Base, right? Base is now opening up DEXs worldwide. All of these new liquidity vehicles are now setting the stage for something you have never seen in your entire life. This is like the stock market on steroids. An IPO that looks like Arnold freaking Schwarzenegger. Democratize attentionable access to the Island Project. Billions of eyeballs focused and centered and buying IP as we go public. Imagine if you could have bought NVIDIA stock privately before it went public on the NASDAQ. Well, you can today. It's called islandproject.com. Private founders round before we go public. Before our investors participate, and not just all the other great things, which is completely untouchable, but the unlimited potential upside of the tokenization equity event and so many creative things that we're doing. Again, I've got massive spec homes I'm working on right now, an amazing new property, about $10-15 million. I'll be alerting our private members to that as well. Such huge opportunities in some of these key locations. Again, we're 3 generations in Hawaii. And notice we're diversified across all 3 islands. And so we get the best deals. We know all the people. Most of what we're buying is pocket. You don't even know about it. It's not listed. You can't find this on the MLS. If you're in another state or something, you're trying to buy like properties, you're not going to get what we buy. No, what we buy, we got the inside track. All glory to God because we've been around. You know, my grandfather retired here, man, well into his 80s. Before these islands were really even developed, there wasn't even any infrastructure. I've told you the stories, but, you know, my grandfather bought his, first place in Long Beach, California for $30K. And, bought his property here in Maui for $150K. And didn't just buy a condo, bought a huge house on the golf course. We've been here a long time. And we also have so many strategic advantages, not just with our technology, but also with my partnership with my father and his amazing stewardship and success in business and life and, amazing family businesses that we've been running multiple generations now. That is, quite a recipe for success. Not to mention the, billions of eyeballs and attention that we bring to the market every single day that no one else in the world can do. I mean, so many investments are just so boring. I don't know about you. I mean, I can deploy anywhere I want to, but I mean, you look at these things. What, I'm going to buy a REIT? That sounds like the most boring freaking thing ever. How about I buy Island Project and enjoy my investment? Doesn't that sound better? And instead of staying at a hotel, I'll stay at my own fractionally owned mansion. And then I'll visit any of the properties throughout the entire year, whether or not I want to ski, suntan, or I want to go surfing. I mean, that sounds a lot better. Or if I want to stay in the States or fly to our pad in Thailand and then go take the yacht out and go island hopping. I mean, what sounds cooler? Owning Apple stock, a radical leftist company that hates conservatives and Christians and is, culturally abhorrible, in my opinion. I mean, they've got good technology, but what are you going to do with it? Look at your Apple shares, eat it? Are you going to print out your piece of paper of your stock and shove it down your throat and gag on it until the day you die? There's nothing to do with that. There's no guarantees. All you have is an IOU. When you own stocks or you own ETFs or you own index funds, all you have is a promise. Nothing. ETFs, for example, and index funds are promises on top of promises. It's a promise on an IOU stock synthetically derived into an ETF. Think about that. It's ridiculous. And Americans don't think those things are going to collapse. They're based on nothing. They're based on synthetic paper funny money of crap. I guarantee you, and I've said this for years, there will be a massive ETF implosion, a massive index fund systemic event, massive collapse in these exotic securities, massive collapse. When you buy Island Project, you immediately own concrete, real, physical, touchable real estate you can stay at with no bank debt. It ain't an IOU or a promise. It's a freaking building with a roof over your freaking head and a deck to sun your balls. There is a freaking difference. But yet, think about how all these Americans are duped every single year by these slick, dumb, crapping financial advisors that told you not to buy Bitcoin and to stay away from it. And they'll sell you things like structured investments that collapse. How many companies have done that? So many of them. Merrill Lynch. I mean, I would never sell it because it was unethical. But like some of these brokers and financial advisors, they're structured investments at like Bear Stearns, which blew up, and Lehman Brothers. They're selling to people based on a derivative time bomb. And the only reason they sell it to you is because of high fees. Do you know we don't charge any annual fee? That almost makes us look stupid, quite frankly. Now, as we expand, I'm going to be adding Learjets, yachts, transportation systems. We already have limos on the ground, lifted Jeeps in every location from Utah Park City to all across the islands, black ops, champagne service, tea, coffee, whatever you need, private. Soon, private air charter, private boat charter. It's a lifestyle investment. Enjoy it. What else are you going to do with your life? Especially if you're up only in these massive profits. And again, I will stress as I close, do not hesitate and do not wait for the perfect timing. Okay, if you're already up huge, start taking some profits now and then book the gain and realize it into the project, into IP while you still can. Don't be one of those fools that round trip their 10X. I've seen it too many times. I always tell you guys to start taking profits. Now, that doesn't mean I don't think things are going much higher. They are. But no man can tell the dayeth or the hour, and you also want to be extremely prudent with your profit taking and realizing those gains. We do accept crypto. That's a very important point. If you're funding with crypto, talk to Papa John. Call my father at 808-442-2934. Ask for a FaceTime. Fill out an app, right, to secure your investment, and then speak with us directly, 808-442-2934. I will personally provide instructions, FaceTime you myself. We will never reach out to you on instant messenger. We don't use WhatsApp, okay? So be careful out there. Only ever contact us directly, 808-442-2934, or islandproject.com, or do both. That's it. All links in our description, and always ask for a conversation as well if you need one. But time is running out, and I really just want to thank my father. You know, he thanks me so much all the time. He always says, I want to give special thanks out to my son, but let's give a moment and thank my father for all the amazing hard work that he has done, really just as an act of charity, to be honest with you guys. Just because he's a charitable, Christian, honorable badass. You're welcome. So Papa John, we tip our hats to you, the real godfather of the Christian billionaire baller class super movement that makes islandproject.com. I'm proud to be your son, and we thank you. And text my dad too, even if it's just a, hey, thank you, Papa John, for being the Christian billionaire baller badass that America needs to fight back on your behalf, to do something beautiful and great by and for the people. We tip our hat to you. Buy him a drink, buy him a coffee, buy him some tea next time you meet with them. And we'll buy you unlimited amounts of the best coconut cake in the world. You know who you are. My favorite too, all fluffy and I love the coconut cake here. So I love you guys, but this is it. It's an honor. God bless. Prepare yourself for the revolution and major announcements coming imminently. Links up here and down here. That's 808-442-2934, 808-442-2934. My name is General Greene, otherwise known as Christopher Greene. I'm not a financial advisor. No, they're broke. Those people are idiots. They told you not to buy Bitcoin. I just made you rich. I'm the crazy guy on the internet that's gotten it all right, because I'm actually not crazy. You know, some people, they think you're crazy initially and then just realize, oh, it's actual genius. God bless you. I speak in parables like Jesus too. I throw chairs in the pool to get your attention. I've told you about Bitcoin for years because I'm here to protect you and help you. It's what God told me to do, and I fight through the algorithms daily because the cream, God's chosen, which makes up all of you, always rise at the top. We're being called up soon too, by the way. So you know what? This world, don't take it too seriously, man. Just take aggressive action. Invest. And leave the rest up to God. And if you have any questions, and if we don't think it's a good fit for you, trust me, we've turned down a lot of people today. There's a handful of people that just politely, we love you and wish you all the best of luck. It's not right for you. Again, we're hand selecting the remaining funding allocation now. This is very, very special. And that's why I'm telling you, if you're sitting at Preferred Trust, you've already done all that paperwork, or you've done all that paperwork in Portal, and it's already been approved and you haven't funded, this is literally your last chance. Or miss it. Completely up to you. Pray on it. I love you guys a lot, and I'm excited. I'm really excited about this new spec development I'm working on. This thing is going to be freaking rock star. Absolutely freaking insane. Huge negative edge pull. I really love when you do the ceilings, you know, like really creatively. It's got a separate Ohana, ocean right in front, golf courses everywhere, unobstructable views, lights freaking out, and it's right behind our $7 million penthouse that we already acquired. And again, these opportunities, for my real estate ballers, and I've got a few, you're out in California and stuff, you don't have access to this stuff unless it's through us. That's just the truth. Just like I'm sure you've got deals in your neck of the woods I don't know about. We've got pocket listings. Almost everything we buy is not available to the public, and we're having to fight off BlackRock and the rest of these scumbags that are trying to redevelop parts of Lahaina and these other locations because they got smart cities planned, folks. I think you know what's up there. So just know we're the good guys. We're the actual people with integrity. We don't even have any bank debt, for crying out loud. You realize that we could take out a loan right now, if we wanted to, and just add like $150 million worth of real estate just by making a phone call. Boom, click, that's it. You know, you put 10% down, carry the 90%. That's what most of the people you follow do. It's all about debt, right? Well, you know what? In my opinion, debt is slavery. And that's not what God would want. And when there is a crash in the future, guess who will be strong? Just like Noah, rising to the top, up only, and who's going to land along with all of his members very safely as we continue to acquire and build out this amazing opportunity and focus on the optimistic side of what's going on in our lives. And then more importantly, just focus on Jesus and get in the Word. So if you don't do anything else today, I'd encourage you, open up your Bible, pray, even if you've just got 2 minutes. Read about one of the Psalms or go into Proverbs. Pray, meditate, and if you're a new Christian and if you've just given your life, which I hope you have, and I hope you've given your life as a result of this channel to Jesus, I always recommend start in the book of John, which is where I started. It's my most famous, or excuse me, in my mind, that just The most beautifully orated description and depiction of the true to life living word of Christ's birth, coming, death, and miraculous resurrection, and his ultimate sacrifice. And it is presented in the most poetic, eyewitness account, loving way to truly understand, and your heart will literally melt into God. And if that's the only thing you do today, just do that. And I'm praying for all of you and all the great people out there and all of you great God first, faith first individuals from all cultures, worldwide, all religions. I'm praying for your companies, your businesses, your churches, and your organizations. It's time to dominate. I mentioned that my daughter with special needs, I'm establishing a foundation for her, but most importantly, other children like her. It's called the Faith First Foundation, because again, it all starts with faith. And the power of tools and financial success is to give more than you receive. So just understand that too. In my view, I might sound crazy. I think you should be more charitable than you can afford. And that's what I do, honestly. And I can do even more. So I'm going to hold my feet to the fire on that. But the more you do, the more you give, the more it flows, the more you receive. Because God uses us as water and weapons for his glory. None of this we're taking with us. But while we're here, we've got to do great things. And we also need to protect each other and understand we're here to protect you. That as general, my primary job and my father's primary job is to protect the chosen asset, grow it with wonderful stewardship over time, and then unlock opportunities that will be in God's hands for unlimited upside potential for you to do great work, and of course to fund all these other amazing opportunities and things that you want to do with your own personal life and things that you gather enjoyment and joy from. I've said for years I donate, my entire net worth, everything, and all my businesses and everything I have, including that's a sign. You might see it behind me. Oh my gosh, that's the sign. The door is being closed. You see that 3? That's the sign. God's closing the door now. I told you there'd be a sign. That's a balloon with the letter 3. Do you see that? Right there. There's the sign. The ark is being closed. Do you know when we started the launch? Exactly 3 years ago. You know when our roadmap was, our objective roadmap to the completion? 3. I let God speak for himself. God bless.